I recently found out by looking at her text messages without her knowing that my wife took part in an orgy and was trying to have a baby with another man just 2 weeks after we got married. This deeply hurt and shocked me. We have only been married for 2 months, and it seemed like our relationship might end in a divorce very soon. We have been together for 5 years, enduring some tough moments. Right now, both of us are in our early 30s. It all started when she went to a place 100 miles away to study for a higher degree. I stayed where I was to complete my own studies. After being apart for 6 months, we were finding it hard to handle the fact that we were so far away from each other. So she came up with the idea that we should have a different kind of relationship where we are open to being intimate with other people. I took my time and thought a lot about it. I wasn't sure about the idea of having an open relationship, and I kept thinking about it over and over. I didn't really want to go along with it, so we decided to end our romantic relationship in a friendly way. But we still remained in good terms with each other. Not so long after that, I began to feel drawn to a woman I work with. Eventually, we started being physically intimate with each other. Even though my now wife and I didn't stop communicating, things changed. We kept talking to each other, and even though I was in a new relationship and she was exploring connections with other people, this went on for a few months. But then she realized that she had done something really wrong and wanted to fix it. She reached out to me to make things right between us. I had a lot of thoughts about whether I should officially reunite with her or not. Some of this was because I was starting to have emotions for the other woman I was spending time with during that period. Eventually, we decided to officially be together again. I broke it off with the woman I was dating, and she mentioned that she had ended her connection with the other person. I didn't inquire about her relationship while we were apart, and I didn't consider it important, and I chose to believe her and trust that she had indeed stopped seeing the other person. After being back together, we decided to get engaged after 6 months, and then we got married 8 months later. During this period, I faced some health challenges and gained 25 pounds, which made me physically less fit. Additionally, I started experiencing difficulties with sexual health. Surprisingly, my wife and I never talked about my actual problems, and she was understanding and supported me. Around 2 weeks before our wedding day, she began to feel uncertain about our decision. I thought it was normal because she was going to marry someone who was struggling with actual issues and might not be able to satisfy her in that way. While we were on our way to our wedding, we finally talked about the problems we were facing in our intimate relationship. We opened up about how we used to have a really satisfying physical connection when I was healthier and in better shape, but that had changed as I gained weight and became less fit. I made a promise to myself and to her that I would work on improving myself and do whatever it takes to bring our actual bond to a good place. We exchanged our vows and officially became married. However, when we returned home after the wedding, we were immediately faced with some serious issues involving her cats and her apartment. This meant we had no time to relax before I had to leave for work again. Unfortunately, during that period, our intimate moments were not fulfilling. Around 2 weeks after we got married, she shared with me that she had miscarried. She had visited the doctor to ensure that everything was all right. I wasn't overly concerned about the time because it was our first step at starting a family, and we had just recently gotten married. During the period when we got married, I recalled that our intimate moments weren't very good due to my weight gain. We weren't having sex as frequently as we used to. Despite this, she never took the lead in initiating intimacy or expressing any dissatisfaction about our reduced closeness. Initially, I felt relieved that she was understanding and aware of the challenges I was facing. On the other hand, there was a part of me that wondered if she might have still been involved in an open relationship, secretly continuing her connection with someone else. It seemed like an unlikely and unbelievable thought because I believed she wouldn't engage in such behavior, and I had complete trust in her. Everything changed when I gave her a big hug upon her return from work, and I noticed the scent of a man's cologne on her. The cologne was familiar because a friend of mine from college used to wear it. This piqued my curiosity and made me more watchful of her actions. What I started to notice was that many times when she came back home from work, she would quickly put her clothes and underwear in the washing machine, even if there wasn't enough clothes to justify using the washer. What appeared to be irregular behavior started making me even more doubtful. I considered the possibility that I might be overthinking and feeling unsure due to her previous request for an open relationship, which had led to our separation before. My curiosity eventually got the better of me, and I couldn't resist checking her phone. This led me to discover that she had never actually ended her involvement in an open relationship. She attended an orgy where she engaged in sexual activities with up to 5 men at once. Additionally, she was having intimate relationship with her previous boyfriend. And what's concerning is that they were not using protection during these encounters. The most troubling part is that she was actively trying to become pregnant with him, and the miscarriage she experienced was a consequence of taking a medication known as Plan B. In the messages, he asked her, "So are you considering having a baby with me?" She replied, "I do want to, but you're moving really far away, about 700 miles, to be with your girlfriend. Plus, I am already married," which are both big commitments. Given all this, I am thinking of taking Plan B, just to be safe, and I will let you know if it doesn't work out. I am in a tough spot between what I desire and what's responsible. Ugh, being an adult can be frustrating sometimes. Close quote. She decided to use Plan B, and it was effective. Later on, she told me about having a miscarriage, and I supported her through it, treating her as if we had lost a child. Little did I know that she had deliberately taken Plan B to end an unintended pregnancy. I didn't feel as devastated when I found out that she had been intimate with another person as I did when I learned about her expressing a desire to start a family and be with him. This was despite the fact that she had already gotten pregnant and wanted to honor that promise. He eventually moved away and they stopped communicating, so it seemed like her involvement with him is now in the past. During the same period, she was also participating in orgies and engaging in intimate activities with people she didn't know. I felt really hurt by this revelation, and I decided to talk to her about it. Initially, she was angry that I looked through her phone, but then I reminded her that we are married now, and once we said our vows, we share our lives and privacy to some extent. I also pointed out that it was fortunate I had checked her phone, as he helped me uncover the truth about her actions and the lies she had been telling me. She said that I had never asked her to stop being in an open relationship, as she believed I knew about her open relationship status before we got married. However, she seemed to forget that before our marriage, we had a period of dating where she was the one who wanted us to be exclusive. I remember how back then I had broken up with an ex-girlfriend at the time to be with her. She didn't address the false claim about the Plan B incident. Instead, she shifted the conversation by suggesting that I wasn't fulfilling her needs in bed and implying that if I were able to fulfill my role as a partner, she might not have strayed. I was completely surprised by her response, and I had never been so mistaken about her before. I started feeling regret for my decision to take her back. She told me that she had shared all the information with me, and there wouldn't be any gradual revealing of the truth. She expressed her desire for us to remain a couple. She claimed she wouldn't repeat her actions, and she offered to attend counseling to work on our relationship. She spoke a great deal, but I'm unsure which part is genuine and which might be untrue. I was mostly in a state of shock as I tried to understand everything she said. Now, I am faced with a significant decision, and it will take me quite a while to sort through all of this and come to a conclusion. Our marriage didn't last long, and when we informed our family and friends that we were getting a divorce, they were surprised. The whole experience deeply shocked me and affected me in a way that caused depression. I went through a week without eating, and I was hit with an overwhelming feeling of worthlessness. I believed that my appearance, being overweight, and my perceived uselessness were a reason my wife had cheated on me and wanted a baby with someone else after our marriage. Even though I mentioned the idea of divorce, my self-esteem was so fragile that I couldn't gather the strength to go through with it. Things reached a point where my situation became really difficult. My sister noticed how much I was struggling and suggested I stay with her for a week. Being away from my wife, away from arguments, and the blame shifting gave me the space I needed. During this time, I found the courage to take the step and officially filed for divorce. After I initiated the process, I returned to our apartment to collect my belongings while she was at work. When she came back and saw that I had left, she called me, but I didn't answer. Instead, she sent me a text messages expressing her hope that we could still work on our marriage. Our marriage was incredibly short, lasting only for 2 months, but the process of getting a divorce took around 6 months. During this time, I managed to reconnect with an ex-partner and regain some sense of normalcy. I made significant changes to my lifestyle. I lost 30 pounds by engaging in regular exercises and adopted a healthier diet. I also addressed my ex-work concerns by consulting my doctor, and my performance in that area had improved to its previous level. I viewed this whole experience as a lesson learned. Looking back, I believe that she had never truly stopped being involved with other people outside of our relationship. It appears that I was more of a backup plan for her. She may have realized that her situation with her ex-boyfriend wasn't going well, and among the various men she was seeing, so she chose to settle with me. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get some reaction on the comment section. Thank you and have a wonderful day.